Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu seem to have reached an understanding at the expense of both LA Knight and Eric Andre. Obafemi advances in the King of the Ring tournament. Io Sky advances in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker is official for Night of Champions, and so much more. This is the Raw recap on WWE Now on WWE and Fanatics original production. Well, here we are again. So much to talk about. It's not even digested all the way. Monday Night Raw is not even fully digested in my intestinal tracts, and yet still, here we are to unpack. I think it's important to do. Megan Morant, are you ready?
I was ready when you said not fully digested. When you started to bring up your intestines, that's when I said, okay, chill, Sam. We may have gone a little too far. I don't need to hear about your intestines.
Well, I didn't bring up my loins, but listen, tonight to me was about two things. Obafemi, who we will get into.
Yeah.
And the bloodline. The bloodline running throughout Monday Night Raw. And I'm telling you, Roman Reigns brought it up. He says he hears everybody, and it's the locker room, but it's out there, in WWE fandom. People with different opinions on this idea that the bloodline story is back. It's one of those things that a lot of people, some of us experienced it, some of us dealt with it. It depends on perspective. But for 3.5 years, the bloodline run roughshod over the WWE. Roman took his foot off the gas for 2 years, and now he's back, and he appears to be pushing that pedal harder than he has ever pushed it.
And no one can say anything. This is not Roman who is missing days of work. This is not Roman who's rolling up just for the main of the event of Monday Night Raw. This is Roman Reigns who's opening the show. He's doing some things in the middle of the show. And he's appearing later on in the show. This is not the same Roman Reigns that all the haters are talking about on the internet.
He gave the evening to Baltimore tonight. Gave him the evening, and I mean, many story beats I found throughout this evening. So first of all, it's all in the details. Everything counts. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Roman Reigns and the Usos all show up, but I thought it was interesting that Roman and Jey both had SUVs. Mm-hmm. Jey Uso, make no mistake about it, and it's really interesting to me because from the beginning of the bloodline, people watched sort of the progression and the career of Jey Uso. And the bloodline, while it used different methods, was always expressly designed to create stars from throughout the family, not just one. So the idea that two SUVs are pulling up, we are witnessing Jey Uso kind of step into his place as a potential leader of this bloodline. Mm-hmm. And I think the growing pains that might come along with it.
Yeah, and we've experienced all those growing pains, right? And that's the reason why a lot of people said when Jey Uso won a world championship in WWE that maybe the bloodline story was about Jey Uso all along.
Yeah.
Here he is rolling up to Monday Night Raw in his own SUV.
But this is what Roman Reigns made so clear. That the bloodline and people, and you know my rule about a lot of factions. I've said it. They're forever. They just stay.
They never break up.
And so I love the fact that Roman Reigns said straight up, the bloodline is forever. Like he had to break down what this actually is. That this isn't some made up storyline. This isn't some like, oh, I don't know, let's group these wrestlers together and see what we get out of it.
The bloodline's always been here.
It's always been here and it always will be here. And like there's fact to back all of that up. Mm-hmm. When the WWE first began that sort of national expansion, the Wild Samoans were a key component of it. When you talk to wrestling fans from the East Coast who watched wrestling in the late 1970s going into the 1980s, every one of them have something to say about Afa and Sika, the Wild Samoans. They were one of the very early draws of the WWE at that time. But before we get there, Roman is already in the spirit as they walk to the ring and they meet up with Jacob, who's not been traveling with Roman and he's not been traveling with the Usos. Based on how the show ended, I think that might be changing.
I agree with you.
But Jacob is a man of his word, and Jacob has shown respect to Roman Reigns since acknowledging Roman Reigns. I don't think there's anything phony about the acknowledgement on Jacob's part.
No, I don't think so either, especially in the way that he continues to say, my OTC.
Roman Reigns. And they all go to the, they embrace, go to the ring together. And Roman Reigns not only receives some acknowledgement from Baltimore, but then tells Baltimore to acknowledge Jey Uso, who he himself, a former world heavyweight champion, who he himself, just on Friday, advanced in the King of the Ring tournament to the semifinals.
And Roman calls Jey Uso his right-hand man.
The right-hand man, Jey Uso. And then he turns over to Jimmy. And this is, by the way, this is one of the things that makes modern Roman a little bit different from the Roman that we saw, with the Bloodline 2 years ago, is that he's so established in who he is that he's allowing everybody around him to shine.
Yeah.
That he's taking time out to be like, no, everybody.
Roman of 2 years ago wasn't doing that.
No. He's going, everybody look at Jey. And then he turns around to Jimmy and he goes, people think that I don't show enough love to Jimmy. Don't you know that without Jimmy, there'd be no Jey? Without Jey, there'd be no Bloodline. Like the Jimmy is responsible for all of this.
You said without Jey, there'd be no OTC.
Without Jimmy, there'd be no OTC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
without Jimmy, there'd be no OTC.
There'd be no OTC. There'd be no Bloodline. There'd be none of this. And he's right. I mean, you go back and you look at how this whole thing started, and Jimmy was the one that kind of realized what was going on here and got Jey together for it. Jimmy has always been the cooler heads, intellectual one of the group, I would say.
He's an integral part of the Bloodline.
And then before the conversation could move to Jacob, Jey piped up, and you know how I feel about Crash Out Jey.
Well, also Baltimore was chanting Fatu at the top of their lungs.
Of course, and
because Roman's going through, he gives Jey some shine. He gives Jimmy some shine. And Baltimore just echoes Fatu, Fatu. And you can see Crash Out Jey. He's acting some kind of way.
And there's nothing cooler than No Sell Jacob. When he's just sitting there, just standing straight ahead, looking straight ahead, like none of it's affecting him. None of it's bothering him. He's there for one reason and one reason only. That's exactly who I'm talking about. Roman looking right at him, and Jacob just all business straight ahead. I'm doing exactly what I said I was going to do. You're the OTC. This is what I'm here to do. And then you get Jey, who's saying, kind of ratting him out a little bit. Jacob's not falling in line.
There's one person we haven't talked about yet.
Right.
He's not listening.
Right. And then Jacob responds to it and then Roman says, is this a problem? And Jacob says, do I acknowledge the twins? Hell no. Hell no, I don't acknowledge the twins. He's like, what part of this are you guys not understanding? I'm not doing that. Like, there's no, I'm not listening. There's no, I don't understand.
I don't do that.
I'm not doing it.
At all.
You don't have to further clarify it. That's not the issue here.
Do we have a problem?
I'm listening.
Because I'm not doing it.
I'm not going to do it.
Done.
Right. I thought I made that clear. You two? Nah. And that's what he said. The only person he acknowledges is who?
My OTC Roman Reigns.
Oh, when you get Jacob on your side, and there's only a handful of people that know how that feels, it's got to feel like $1 million. Because when he decides, it's like, no, that's my dude. He'll put it all the energy goes in. But when that's not the dude,
hell nah.
no. I mean, just looking at him, like, you got to be crazy. I told you I'm not doing it.
Oh, when Jacob hits the hell nah.
Hell no.
There are few things better.
No, it's the best. And that's when Roman Reigns starts getting into the bloodline being forever.
And this is where you start to
I
get
had
those goosebumps.
The bloodline
baby.
goosebumps.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he's going like, oh, please. And he starts naming them. You know what I'm saying? Because
I thought that you were going to go take some time to yourself when Roman was doing this.
I needed to, because he talked about the Wild Samoans, and he talked about Rikishi. when he said when Rikishi was out, and it's true. When the Wild Samoans were out there in the golden era, and don't even forget, by the way, that during the new generation, here come the head shrinkers out here to entertain everybody. And then comes the Attitude Era, and here comes Rikishi, here to dance and entertain everybody.
Then he starts talking about Umaga.
Oh God, every single era. What about the fact that a young Samoan comes in portraying a Japanese sumo wrestler and shows up, and within, what was it? I want to say October, November, December, January, February. Within 5 months of his debut, he wins the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. What about Yokozuna? What about Battle of the Billionaires main eventing WrestleMania Umaga? Like, he's saying it, we've always been here.
And then he looks at Jacob and he talks about how they always will be here because 20 years from now, when my kids are tagging with your kids, the bloodline will still be here.
And I'll still be turning the siren on and dropping those podcasts. You see Roman Reigns Jr. and Jacob Fatu Jr. out there? That was amazing. Blah, blah, blah. I'll still be here doing the same thing, compelled by all of it.
With the same level of enthusiasm.
Oh, I mean, if not higher.
It has to be.
Because I felt it tonight when Roman, who's now bringing the belt boy with him everywhere, that belt boy has more responsibilities than just the belt.
I was going to say, I think he got a little promotion.
It feels like it, doesn't it? Because he
Very involved.
Very involved in all of it.
I was worried you were going to start to get jealous.
Of belt boy?
Yeah.
No. That's for him. You know, that's not my lane.
Okay.
That needs 100% full, complete, and utter dedication. Because he showed up with that cigar box is what it looked like. That nice polished wood box. And they opened it up. And Roman takes out this version of the Ulafala. And he says to Jacob, you've always said you were the outsider. You've always said you were on the outside looking in. That's over now. You're on the inside. Welcome to the family business. Welcome to the bloodline. And he puts it around Jacob's neck. And I think to some degree, you know, this is what Jacob has always strived for. This is what he talks about when he said he was running the indies while the bloodline was controlling things in the WWE, that this can be the family business and this can be, but it's not like every single member of this family
is part of the business
or has been able to make it to the top of the business. There's plenty of members of this family that have gone in with the best of intentions and aren't on. That's how big this family is. There's just as many members of this family that have tried their hand at it and not made it to the top and not been in that elite conversation of people that do control this thing. And for Roman to be front and center saying in the midst of all this, when the Usos, who Roman just described as rising up the ranks to be the greatest tag team that ever lived, which is big words from Roman Reigns coming from the direct blood of the Wild Samoans, that Roman then looks at Jacob and says, welcome to the bloodline, welcome to the family business, to the point that the Usos are like, wait, what? I thought we were voicing our complaints with Jacob. Talk about a promotion.
They're like, we're stuck with him.
Listen, Roman is one of the great examples of a leader that's ever existed because he doesn't just lead in one style. He looks at who's in front of him and he goes, how do I get through to this person? What does this person need? And how do I get through? It's not like if you're going to run things like that and you want the best out of your people, it's not a matter of going, okay, this is how I lead. Just here are the orders, just follow them.
Well, I think this is a difference in the Roman Reigns that we saw 2 years ago. I think Roman is leading in a different way now.
There might be, and it's going to be crazy to hear, a degree of empathy.
Wow.
That exists in our tribal chief.
Wow.
And it's on display from a degree. A degree.
Yes.
Now, don't mistake empathy or kindness for weakness. But there could be that there.
And I think a level of appreciation as well for the people around him.
Yes. And I think that comes through in the acknowledgement of what they've done. That you have done this.
Yeah.
You do deserve credit for this. And so then, as they leave, right? and the Usos are kind of feeling a certain type of way.
Well, all the ones were in the air, right? Well, Roman had the one
Right,
first.
good call.
Jacob puts his one up.
Right there. And then the Usos have to figure out what to do.
Yeah, Jimmy is reluctant, but he goes over.
Like, come on.
And Jay is like, really, man?
But what are we doing here? What are we doing?
I'll put my one up too.
So they leave. Jay's in a little bit of a huff. He blows right past Eric Andre, who's sitting in that nice corner seat.
It wasn't Carlito.
No, it was Eric Andre. No, Eric Andre's cool too. But then Jimmy walks by, and Jimmy he doesn't let his emotions get away from him. Shakes his hand. Good to see you. Blah, blah, blah. Roman Reigns kind of walks by him like, oh, yeah, I see.
There he is.
And then Jacob doesn't want anything to do with him.
No.
But it's fun being a fan, you know?
But he also touched the Ulafala.
Well,
it was just bestowed upon Jacob Fatu by Roman Reigns as he was welcomed to the family business and welcomed to the bloodline.
Eric Andre is a little bit of a wild card. I don't know if you know this about Eric Andre. He's not overly known for taking things especially seriously. He became very, very famous for having and this is not a criticism, he set out with one goal, and that's to have the worst talk show that's ever existed. And that was the Eric Andre show, and it's beloved by many. But it's a show where he the whole opening of the show is he destroys his set every single week. It's the greatest thing you've ever seen, but it's not to be taken seriously.
But Jacob was having a pretty serious moment.
Yeah, Jacob's not in the mood to celebrate Bird Up right now. Okay?
No.
He's not sitting
He's not joking around right now.
No, he's not trying to legalize ranch. He's not even thinking about that. He's having a big moment with his family. And so when Eric Andre thinks that it's an appropriate thing, he's done investigating 311. So he starts to mess with Jacob Fatu's Ulafala. Jacob he's not going like, oh, we have to treat our celebrity guests a certain way. Nah.
Hell nah.
Hell nah. He grabs Eric Andre.
What do you think Jacob Fatu thought of Eric Andre touching
the whole situation?
Yes.
Ass. He thought it was ass, I think. That's what I think he thought it was. Ass. So that's a great question, by the way. Because it's good. He pulls Eric Andre over the rail and throws him in the ring. And it's like, I mean, listen. And he wasn't just like, he was like bouncing up and down the Ulafala like, yay.
And to think, people have been saying on the internet that Jacob Fatu has been neutered.
Oh, Michael Cole said it. That's why he had the night off. Because Michael Cole went on PLE and said it. Yeah, neutered. That looks like neutered to you?
Not to me.
It's one of the worst calls he's ever made. So he throws Eric Andre in the ring. And he's about, and Eric Andre is down for the count.
Oh, yeah.
The Samoan werewolf is about to splash him. He's up on the top rope. Here comes the Hurricane. Here comes Petey Williams. Here comes Adam Pearce. Everybody's out there going, stop, stop, stop. And Roman gets up on the apron. And he goes, Jacob, stop, stop. And Jacob listens to Roman.
He has to listen to his tribal chief.
Yes. And then Roman had a change of heart. He goes, you know what? Do it.
Go ahead. Why not?
And then he does it. And he flattens Eric Andre. And Adam Pearce is like, why would you do that? What are you doing?
Roman's got those pearly whites.
He's smiling at him. Why would you do that, Roman? And I looked at that and I was thinking about that. What's the psychology behind this? Why would Roman do that? And I believe that the reason this was done is because Roman doesn't want anyone to mistake what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, he's leading a little bit differently. Maybe he has a little bit more patience, more empathy, more whatever. But in this moment, I think he's realized, like, Jacob's locked into this.
Of course.
I need to show everybody what a weapon I have. I need to show everybody the degree of control that I have, right? Because sometimes when you're in a position like Roman Reigns, the authority figures will say, hey, can you please make sure this happens? And you do, because you have the ability to make sure that it happens.
No problem.
But then these authority figures think that they're the ones in charge. That's how I took it.
So Roman needed to remind everybody that while he's leading a little differently, while he may have a bit of empathy, he's still, and not just him, the bloodline is more dangerous than ever.
Yeah, I'm in charge. I'm the one calling the shots.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just so you know, it can go your way, but I like it to go my way. And then the crowd's chanting one more time. And Roman goes, no, not one more. You know what? Fine.
Why
One
not?
more time. Jacob, go ahead back in there.
I run this whole place.
And Jacob goes right back in there, knocks the Hurricane over, goes right back to the top rope, flattens Eric Andre again. Again. It's a good thing he already shot this movie with John Cena, because there's no way he was going to be in any
No,
condition
cannot.
after what he went through. But I think the whole thing was an absolute exercise in the kind of power that Roman Reigns has right now.
And psychology, right?
Absolute psychology. Now, before we get to the LA night of it all,
Because that's a big part.
because the plot thickens, I want to tell you about ProSphere. Whether you're representing your favorite superstar, reliving an unforgettable premium live event, or you're looking for a fresh way to show your WWE pride, ProSphere has you covered. See this Danhausen shirt right behind me? This is what I've been rocking and rolling. This is my good luck charm. The same way Danhausen uncursed the Knicks, ProSphere uncursed me so I could get the Danhausen shirt so I can rock and roll. I'm actually taking this down off the wall. I'm going
Whoa.
to wear it to the parade on Thursday in New York City, okay? I'm talking about all the custom designs that they have. Look at that jersey you're rocking and rolling with, Megan
Yeah, I
Moran.
got a ProSphere Jacob Fatu jersey with the name on the front, just the way Jacob reps it,
Oh,
because
it's the
I'm
best.
repping it the exact same way as the Samoan werewolf.
You
And
got
if you
to.
ask me to do it any differently, you know what I'm going to say?
What?
Hell nah!
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I love it when you put a little bass in your voice. It's how you stand out from the crowd. You got to check out ProSphere's lineup of authentic Jersey-inspired styles. See, we all know I got my favorite jersey back here.
That's right.
That's right.
Favorite
See?
numbers, too.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know what it is. Yeah, they've also, of course, got tees, hoodies, and more with options available for adults and youth. The whole family can gear up and represent their favorite WWE stars. Don't settle for ordinary fan gear. Make a statement with ProSphere. Head over to Fanatics and check out the full collection today. ProSphere on Fanatics, gear designed for fans who live the WWE universe. And a lot of fans have been making a lot of noise for LA Knight.
Yeah.
LA Knight, very dismayed, disappointed in how the King of the Ring first round match went for him on SmackDown.
that's
He
tough.
said that there would be other people involved. There were other people involved. It looked like he had the match in hand. Solo Sikoa showed up at ringside.
This family, once again, interfering in LA Knight's life.
Yes, but I think that Solo Sikoa was interfering on behalf of
Well, that's
Royce
what the
Keys.
Yeah, that's what the Usos said, that Solo wasn't involved with them.
That's right. And Jimmy said it flat out. Solo wasn't involved. And it was. I mean, if you look at what was happening, it appeared he was trying to save Royce Keys, and Jay just happened to take advantage of it.
Yes.
Which, if you're in a fatal four-way, is completely fine. But Roman said to the Usos, who were still complaining about Jacob, there's other business to take care of. Like, LA Knight's still running his
Who's
mouth.
taking care of LA Knight?
Maybe I need to send the werewolf out there.
They said, nope. Jimmy says, you know what, I got this.
Jimmy says, I got this.
Jay was about to crash out, but Jimmy stepped up.
Right. So LA Knight goes out there and he's cutting a promo about losing in this King of the Ring match, talking about Solo Sikoa, talking about it going exactly how he thought it was going to go. And Jimmy Uso comes out. And I got to tell you, man, this cooler heads prevail Jimmy Uso. Man, I don't think we're in a period of time anymore where Jimmy's desire to be friends with everybody is effective.
No, I don't think it's effective anymore either.
Because I think everybody's threatened by the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea that Jimmy thinks he's going to be able to maintain friendships, it's kind of one or the other. The idea that Jimmy thinks he's going to be able to maintain friendships while this other thing is happening, it kind of comes across as naive.
Yeah, it's sort of like you're with the bloodline or you're against the bloodline.
Yeah, and by the way, I fully understand the other side. I fully understand anybody that's been around that lived this thing that is wanting a WWE where the opportunities are wide open. That was Seth Rollins' whole mission at WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure that the bloodline didn't just get their stranglehold over everything.
That's why he was Cody's shield.
Roman Reigns has made no secret about the fact that this is he organizes the bloodline in a way to hold power over the entire industry so that their family for generations upon generations can prosper because their family has been around and didn't have the ability to organize the way they're organized now. So LA Knight and Jimmy are talking, but LA Knight's not taking Jimmy seriously at all.
No.
And Jimmy's trying to be cool. Here comes Jay. Jay Uso interrupts.
Everybody in Baltimore is on their feet.
Of course they are.
Jey
Jay.
Uso makes his way to the ring, and Sam, I have to tell you, there was a moment when Jey Uso is standing in the ring with his twin brother Jimmy, looking at LA Knight, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is he going to run it back right now with all of Baltimore just to flex on LA Knight?
It'd be very insulting. But instead he did not. Instead he looked right at LA Knight and said, let me talk to you, which also very insulting.
Salt in the wound.
Yes, pouring some salt in the wound. And LA Knight said, stop. Let me guess. You want me to acknowledge the tribal chief. Now, listen, LA Knight talks about the different members of this family way more than the members of this family talk about the different members of this family. Jimmy Uso comes out and tries to have a one-on-one conversation with LA Knight. Jey Uso comes out, tries to have a one-on-one conversation with LA Knight. All LA Knight wants to do is bring up every member of the family every single time. He is obsessed with bringing up all the different members of the family. So it's not shocking to me that somebody like Jey Uso gets frustrated with it and says flat out, no, that ain't it. I want you to acknowledge me. I'm better than you. I loved it when he just looked at LA Knight flat out and Jay said, I'm better than you. I was like, that's what you want, to somebody to just own it, whether that's true or not. You want Jay, and you've wanted Jay for so long to be able to own it, because when he said it, I believed every word.
And it's crazy because I'm sitting there thinking, not long ago, Jimmy and Jay teamed up with LA Knight at WrestleMania.
It really wasn't long ago at all. It was 2 months maybe.
And they worked together to the point where I said,
This is
okay,
fun.
maybe
This works.
this is all right.
Yeah.
And then tonight, LA Knight says, I acknowledge you to kiss my ass.
He did say that to him. Listen, the whole world changed when Roman Reigns won the World Heavyweight title.
It did.
It was inevitable.
It did.
People didn't see it coming. But he did. He put his finger up in the air and he said, I acknowledge that one. That's what he said, what you just said.
Yeah.
And of course, that didn't sit too well. And Jay and LA Knight are going at it, and Jimmy's goes and kicks LA Knight, and he says, I had to, I'm sorry. Jay goes and gets the chair. For whatever reason, again, Jimmy stops Jay from going after LA Knight. And it's like, what are you doing, Jimmy? Why are you stopping it? Like, this is a guy who doesn't want to hear anything. Like, how many times did they tell him we didn't have anything to do with Solo? He didn't want to hear it. He wasn't interested in hearing that. At that point, you go, okay, I've tried the diplomatic approach. It's not going to work.
Tried to be reasonable.
But now you got Jimmy and Jay completely fractured, trying two different things. And who's going to come out and be the great equalizer?
The Samoan werewolf.
Jacob Fatu. He comes out, handles LA Knight. LA Knight goes down to that Tongan death grip. And Jacob Fatu solves the problem. Says, what are we doing here?
Done.
Solves the problem. It's done.
Finished.
And then goes back there in front of the OTC and lets them all know Jimmy's way was ass. Jay's way was ass. So this is the way we had to do it. And notice that Jacob never said, I did it my way.
He said, got his ass.
He did say that. But he said he did it the OTC's way.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, huh? And you wonder, too, you're right, Roman Reigns is running things differently. But when was the last time Roman Reigns had a loyal soldier like that? I mean, don't you?
Probably Solo, right? When Solo was the enforcer?
That was probably the last one.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you think that he's going to, and wasn't he showing favoritism towards Solo towards the end of the
For
bloodline?
sure.
Don't you think that this is the guy that Roman wants? Because at the end of the night, when it was just Roman and Jacob, Roman told Jacob, like, I understand you.
And no one's understood you before.
No one's understood you, but I understand you. And Jacob believed that. It seemed like he did.
And it's crazy because just a couple weeks ago, Roman said to Jacob, you don't understand this now, but you will love me. Or I do love you, you know?
Yeah.
The L word was
You're
brought up.
right about both things. And we're kind of there, dude. Wow. We're kind of there already because they embraced, and Roman whispered something to Jacob. But it was just Roman and Jacob. And you go, oh boy. Oh boy. When you see those two together and they are lined up, I mean, I love this dude.
We went on quite the ride with Roman and Jacob tonight.
It's getting juicy.
Starting when Jacob was officially welcomed into the family business
And look
to
where
the
we
whispering backstage.
over the course of a couple hours. Unbelievable. I mean, talk about a ride. How about the ride we've been on for the last couple weeks? Danhausen
Oh, yeah.
was on Monday Night Raw.
And NBA champion Danhausen.
Well, he proclaimed himself an NBA champion.
I think he's right. He's an NBA champion.
I didn't see him.
I think he's on the Knicks.
You do?
Yes.
I mean, he was given a jersey.
Mhm.
I didn't see him. I saw him at game 3.
Yes. That's the one they lost.
I know. Yeah, that's
not great.
No.
But he rides with them through the highs and the lows.
Yeah, I didn't see him in San Antonio.
Mm.
But regardless, I don't know. Okay, there he is. There he is. He does have a jersey. He is on the court.
I think he's on the team.
I guess he is. Yeah, I saw a speech that James Dolan gave to the Knicks that said
I saw that one.
that everybody's getting 2 rings. You're not getting 1 ring. You're getting 2 rings because you
Heck
got You
yeah.
have a spouse. You have a girlfriend. Somebody that's been riding with you.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe one of them will choose Danhausen as their second ring.
Amazing. Wouldn't you if you were on the team?
Would I? I would.
Yeah.
And I'd explain it to my wife. I go, you got to understand. It's Danhausen, And she's like, I've known you the
What?
whole time. I thought we
Who?
were doing this together. No, Danhausen. He uncursed the Knicks. I mean, Danhausen being everywhere was an absolute treat. And of course, now Danhausen is in very, very high demand. He was back there. He brought his entire laboratory to Monday Night Raw, working on whatever concoctions he was working on the computer.
Very busy.
Very busy.
Focused.
And in comes Liv Morgan.
Oh, Olivia Morgan.
Olivia Morgan. And Liv Morgan decided that she wanted to go in and try to get Danhausen to help her.
I have a question for you about this.
Okay.
Do you think that Liv Morgan was trying to seduce Danhausen? I mean, you're better at reading the body language than I am, but it seemed.
I think Liv was up to her tricks. I think there might have been a little bit of seduction games going on for Liv Morgan. I do. I
Think
mean,
Daddy Dom would be okay with that.
listen, I think Daddy Dom's got to realize that some things are done for the greater good. You know what I mean? This is business. Like, luckily, I don't think he has anything to worry about because Danhausen he's too strong for that. He's not. He clearly wasn't vulnerable. Liv has had really good luck using her feminine wiles and charms.
But this one was still going to cost her human monies.
Well, yeah, it was really tough because she even showed off, like she takes her jacket off. There's that, whatever cut Danhausen t-shirt that Liv Morgan is wearing. And you know when I knew it wasn't going to go Liv's way?
When's that?
Did you hear what Danhausen mumbled the minute Liv Morgan revealed what she was wearing? He mumbled, "I hope you paid for that." He wanted to make sure that he collected a royalty on the Danhausen shirt. Danhausen is well known as selling many, many, many t-shirts. But the fact that he's looking at individual ones and wants to make sure that he got the royalty on that one, that's got to let you know if you're Liv Morgan, this is not the vibe that you're looking
Maybe
for.
you have to switch your strategy a little bit.
A little bit, because Liv then asked for a cursing to occur.
Yeah.
And Danhausen was willing to do that, but I believe he said, let me see, I tried to write this down. He wanted, obviously, human monies.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to have a part in Liv Morgan's Olivia Morgan's next music video.
I think that would be perfect.
He wanted more human monies.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted his own song, his own pop song
Oh, okay.
that she would help him with. And then even some more human monies because he's in very demand right now.
So a song, music video, and a lot of money.
And then also more human
More money.
Yes. So unfortunately, I do not think that Liv was able to capitalize the way she thought she might be able to
Although I really would like to see Trouble, the remix,
with Danhausen.
in the music video.
Well, look, that's going to be the thing. Like, I mean, the fun of Danhausen was always these curses are ridiculous. You know what I mean? This is just a maniac running around in face paint talking about cursing people. Except then the Knicks, after, not doing
What they go 15-1?
they went 15-1 from the uncursing. 15-1. And they just had to get that one because it's the Knicks.
Yeah.
They had to remind everybody, we're still the Knicks.
And it also was the one that
Danhausen was that. Yeah. Maybe Danhausen was ignoring, the energy they needed to put in.
I think they do better when he's in his laboratory.
I think he's better there because he's not so distracted meeting Ben Stiller and Cardi B and all the people.
Those
he was
are his
taking-
friends.
Well, yeah, I don't know. He took
think they're-
photos with them.
No, they're his friends though.
Oh, okay.
That's what he
I didn't-
said. They're friends. He's friends with Cardi B. So
That's
maybe
cool.
he'll be in Liv Morgan's music video and a Cardi B music video. Can you imagine?
I could now. Yes. 2 weeks ago, no. Now he's a darling of celebrity life in New York. Yeah, I could imagine.
Cardi B housing?
Absolutely.
Be so good.
I mean, I'm very like it's going to be a jolt to the system, depending on whether or not he gets involved on Thursday's parade. I don't know what we're going to see, but congratulations to Danhausen. Unfortunate for Liv Morgan and bad luck. I would say trouble followed the Judgment Day everywhere they went tonight, especially in the main event of the show.
Oof. This is tough for you. Are you all right?
No, I'm not.
Well,
all
you
right.
did ask me last week if there was a greater than 0% chance that Dominic wins. And I got to tell you, Sam, when Dominic was able to take that ring bell hammer, sneak it in his boot, somehow or another find a way to hit the 619 on Obafemi and deliver the low blow,
I thought it was it.
Dominic goes up for the frog splash.
Like Uncle Ed.
I go greater than 0.
Okay, I
But
ask you.
Oba kicked out in 1. So it was tough.
I ask you now: is there a greater than 0 chance that Dominic wins the King of the Ring?
There's not.
Oh,
There's not.
that's much
It is
worse.
over.
Oh, yeah, no. Look, I mean, I feel like Dominic. I don't know that he came in with much of a plan. It felt like he thought he was going to wing it once he got there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was expecting
He
like
immediately slid out of the ring.
help or what was going on, but he and JD, I don't think was the team that needed to be. He did once the match began, slid out of the ring. He tried to frustrate Obafemi. He nailed Oba with a drop kick. Unfortunately, I think that just got Obafemi more angry as Obafemi then shot-putted Dominic Mysterio across a commentary table.
Not good.
Just the moment that Dom needed, though, he ended up getting that hammer. So JD distracts the ref. Dominic hits a low blow. Then he hits Oba with a 619, but I don't know if I've ever seen a 619 hit to an abdomen. That's how big Obafemi is.
He's a big boy.
He hit
big
Obafemi
guy.
in the abdomen with a 619. Got Obafemi down, like you said, went for the splash. And I was out of my seat. I was like, he's got it.
This is it.
This is it. Oba kicked out at 1. And I went, oh, it's over. You remember when I said
Yeah, I was like, if he nails this, and at that point when he was up about to hit the frog splash, I said greater than 0. And when Oba kicked out in 1, I said less than 0.
And then when Oba started taking out both of them at the same time.
And then the hammer fell out of the boot, and you knew he was really in trouble.
Well, he picked it up, and then he dropped it. He dropped it. He didn't have the opportunity to use it. Once Oba started going like this, that's when I said,
over.
this is my game 3.
It was over.
This is my game 3 right here. This
Yeah.
is not good. A power bomb ended it. I mean, I spent the last week going on every platform that I have advocating for this Dominic Mysterio to win the whole King of the Ring. He's
You
out.
had me sold.
I look like a fool.
You had me sold.
I know. I tried to sell as many people as I could.
Yeah.
I was wrong. Obafemi, of course Obafemi won.
I was ready for Dominic to become a world champion at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I was ready for it.
Of course Obafemi won. What did you think was...
You
Yeah, I
sold
know.
me that.
I know.
You did.
I know. I should have sold snake oil. That's what I was built to do. The fact that I made anybody believe that Dominic Mysterio was ever going to beat Obafemi. And then Oba,
You're just like, what do I want to happen? Let me manifest this.
I'm going to manifest it. Manifesting doesn't work. Everybody talks about manifesting. It's
Well, you know why it
BS.
doesn't work?
It doesn't work.
Because it's Obafemi.
He
Come
is. He is the manifest destroyer. Absolutely. And then he starts calling out Brock Lesnar.
Which is nuts.
It's like, bro, you're in the you're about to go to the King of the Ring final. You're going to
Did he-
like what are you doing?
He had a lot of things to say about Brock Lesnar. He said he didn't know if he was a man at all.
Why are you saying this? He wants Brock Lesnar.
This is the man who delivered 7
7.
F5s.
7 F5s.
He's like, I don't know if he's a man. What?
right. He said, I'm going to be the King of the Ring, and you're always going to be the one who ran away from me.
Then he started talking about legacies.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm sitting there and I'm looking, and we'll talk about Javon Evans in a little bit, but on Friday, it's Jey Uso versus Javon Evans.
Yes.
Does it matter? It's Obafemi. The winner of that match fights Obafemi in the King of the Ring finals.
No,
And-
it doesn't matter.
Oh.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It's a foregone conclusion, you're saying.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. But give him the crown now, you're saying.
That's what I would do.
You know what they're gonna say in the bloodline hangout room? Ass, because Jey Uso didn't win I mean, it's gonna be tough. Listen, I'll tell you this: Fanatics Fest is bringing 2 exclusive WWE live shows to New York City this July. Don't miss the official WWE SummerSlam kickoff hosted by Michael Cole on Sunday, July 19th, with special guests, exclusive insights, and a preview of WWE's biggest event of the summer. And John Cena is taking the stage for the You Can See Me Now live show Saturday, July 18th. A live Q&A giving fans an inside look at the moments, stories, and mindset behind his legendary career. They should find a moderator for that Q&A.
Oh, wow. I wonder. Nope, you're busy. We are doing judging.
Who could moderate that? We could take a break from that. Who could moderate that Q&A? Somebody to make John Cena's life. Fanatics Fest is a must-attend for every WWE fan. I'm manifesting.
I think Peter Rosenberg's available.
No, he's busy. Tickets are available now at fanaticsfest.com. Save 10% with promo code WWE Now 10. And I cannot wait to go to Fanatics Fest and be joined by my co-host Kathy Kelly for WWE Now podcasts. Now, I will say that we also got an advance in the Queen of the Ring, and this is a woman who every chance that you've gotten, and rightfully so, you have pointed out that to you, she is the best wrestler on the planet right now.
It's crazy because when this bracket came out, you see EO, and, we're all filling out our brackets, and you like to come up with a couple of different scenarios. But when you just say, let's simplify all of this, how does EO Sky not make the finals?
That's what it is. That's such a good point, because we did it with Dominic. We do it all the time. It's like Obafemi, like you go, what's the simplest route?
We love to fantasize about an upset, right?
Yes,
and
of
what
course.
if, and this and that, and we make up these scenarios.
And you go like this, because it's a tournament.
Yeah.
You go, a lot of different things could happen.
In Fatal 4-Ways, there's a lot of different rules.
And you end up in a scenario where somebody goes to SummerSlam that you would have never thought would go to SummerSlam.
But when we just apply logic and you look at that bracket, you go, there's no way EO's not going to the finals.
Yeah, we romanticize the idea of like, oh, this is like just a total, somebody you never considered would all of a sudden. But no, I mean, the same thing is happening with Obafemi, but you're right. Like, Io Sky, by the way, amazing that she is compared to Obafemi.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't.
This is a totally different way.
They couldn't carry themselves more differently. But the reality is that, I come up with every reason in the world that Raquel would beat Io Sky. And if we're anybody other than Io Sky, this would be Big Mommy Cool all over.
And Raquel, oh my goodness, the power on display at the beginning of the match.
Incredible.
I thought Io was down and out for.
But it was.
But then I remembered this is Io Sky.
This is Io Sky, and it's the classic story. At some point, the genius is going to take to the sky. And once she does,
it's over.
It's game over. And Raquel is out. Raquel out of this Queen of the Ring tournament. And now you've got Io Sky, who's going to face the winner of the match on SmackDown between Liv Morgan and Charlotte Flair. Which, by the way, the fact that at Night of Champions, we either get Io versus Charlotte or Io versus Liv.
Come on.
That's massive.
Huge.
Now, okay. If Liv Morgan makes it to the finals.
Okay.
And Io Sky, do you think Io Sky is going to win the Queen of the Ring? Regardless right now. I'm not asking you if. I'm asking you between these two. You said Io's the best.
Yeah.
You said Io.
I think right when this bracket came out, I said Io's got to be the favorite of the whole tournament. So
Okay.
Yes.
So
Io wins.
So let's say Liv Morgan goes to the finals and Io beats her.
Okay.
If you're Io Sky, do you go, why no? But, I mean.
I know I can beat Liv because I already did it. Do I go after her championship?
Or do you go after Rhea Ripley, who, while she has beaten Rhea Ripley before, is easily her fiercest rival in WWE?
Yeah, but she's like, this woman has never pinned me.
Yeah, but she just beat Liv.
But it's hard to go back to back, right?
Okay, that's a great point.
Really hard to go back to back. Beat me once.
And now Liv's got a feel for what's going on in there.
Sure.
Now it's like, okay, now the
Don't
title's
forget,
on the
she
line.
has the Judgment Day behind her.
She's got the Judgment Day. There's no tomorrow.
Mhm.
Maybe Rhea still has a warm spot in her heart for Rio.
Of course. She was wearing the necklace that said Rio on it. We
Yeah.
saw their emotional goodbye.
So you're not going for the back-to-back. You're going for Rhea, hoping you can prey on the emotions.
I think so.
That's why you won all those marathons. You are a competitor. You are a nasty competitor.
Yeah, I think
You're like
it's,
Wemby.
I think it's tough.
You're Wemby of these marathons. Just a dirty, dirty player.
Yeah, I mean the bows are coming out mile 24.
Yeah.
Come on.
You got to.
Yeah,
Because what are you there to do? Are you there to run or are you there to win?
there to win, baby.
That's what I thought.
That's what we got to do.
That's why you're going to the
It's
Olympic
all-
trials.
It's all fun and games
Right.
until those last couple miles.
And then boom. Guess who's here? Guess who just showed up?
it's Io Sky, and she's
that's-
coming for Rhea Ripley's title.
Wow, I love it. I love that take because I would have gone
Yeah.
the other way, but that's the smarter take. The fact that, okay, I don't want to try to go back to back. I want to see if I can go, oh, gee, I guess I'll face you, but I hope we're still friends after it.
Mm-hmm.
And then try to,
And then the genius takes to the sky, and then it's over.
and repeat what we've done before.
And Io Sky has been Rhea's kryptonite.
Many times. Well, not many, but more times than most.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I do want to tell you that about some new merch that's available now. Sol Ruka. You love Sol Ruka. A new champion has arrived. Oh, look at that. Those shirts are awesome. You can rep Megan Morant, Sol Ruka's historic Intercontinental Championship win with the official champion tees. Ruin Becky Lynch's vacation wherever you go. Available now at WWE
It
Shop
doesn't say that in the print. It doesn't.
My
say-
copy
I
does.
have this on the
and
the paper.
Fanatics. It
Doesn't
says
say
the
it.
copy says ruin
You
Becky
just added
Lynch's
that.
vacation
What
and
you do is Scam Roberts.
congratulate Sol Ruka on everything that she's done. By the way,
That's terrible.
you can turn up the heat this summer with WWE Tanks. Show them guns off. Which way to the gun show? See, this would be a lot more impressive if I was wearing a tank
Why aren't you?
instead of a flannel. Well, I haven't got my tanks yet. You can heat this summer up with WWE tanks that are built for every member of the WWE universe. Shop your favorite superstar styles now at WWE Shop and Fanatics. Look at that smoking skull with the arms on display. I mean, what a thrill. What a thrill that would be. Hey, speaking of Night of Champions and the King of the Ring finals matches that we're going to get, we found out another match that we're going to get at Night of Champions. We are going to see Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker one-on-one, but this time it will be inside of a steel cage. And on one end, you go, yeah, like a steel cage would probably work in the favor of Seth Rollins because it's going to make it a lot tougher for the Vision
Yeah.
to get involved, right?
Of course.
But of all things on the planet, why would you want to be locked inside of a steel cage with Braun Breaker?
You would never want to be locked inside a steel cage with a dog.
With a dog like that? Oh, 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 oh.
If you're in a steel cage with a dog, who comes out
The
of
dog.
that steel cage?
The dog. The dog comes out of the steel cage
Dangerous place for
with a
Seth
bone
to
in
be.
its mouth. And you don't
Dangerous
ask
place.
anybody where he got that bone from. Okay? Guess what happened in the Sandlot? That ball went over the fence. I don't care if it was signed by Baby Ruth. Okay? Babe Ruth! You weren't getting that ball back. No matter how much you begged James Earl Jones. The ball wasn't coming back because you're not getting in that cage with that dog. And that, the Beast, I believe was the name of the dog.
That was the name.
WWE's equivalent to the Beast from the Sandlot is Braun Breaker. But here's the thing. I mean, the level of speed that's going to be built up inside that cage, that's one of those things that, like, you want a little bit more space around you so that at least when that thing hits you, you can hope that, like, you know, that when a spear hits you, you can hope that you'll at least go flying somewhere, right?
Or there's more things to dodge it with.
Or there's more things to dodge it with. Now, you get speared, and if you don't go straight to the ground, you're going straight into solid steel. Not Pretty.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
But maybe that's what Seth Rollins wants to do. I think Seth Rollins thought that he was already done with the Vision. And I think that the point traditionally of steel cage matches has been that this is going to tell the story. That this is once it's done, it's done. One person is coming out of this cage and there's no excuses. Now look, that doesn't mean it's going to happen every single time, but I think that's what Seth Rollins is looking for. I think that's why Seth Rollins wants this steel cage match.
We thought the Vision was behind him. Clearly they weren't.
Right.
How do you put the Vision behind you? You walk out of the steel cage.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can get out of it, if you've got the power of your legs still moving.
Yeah.
And the Vision is not only, still at the same level that they've been at, but they're even higher. They're in full-on recruiting mode.
Yeah, because Logan Paul was back tonight.
Yeah, Logan Paul made a surprise return to Monday Night Raw with his arm in a brace after tearing his tricep. But Javon Evans was in the ring, and he was pushing forward to SmackDown, talking about the fact that he's got a match with Jey Uso, the winner of that going on to face Obafemi at Night of Champions in the King of the Ring final match. But out comes...
I would say it's the biggest singles match in Javon Evans' career.
That's true. The Cena...
Yep.
That wasn't a singles, though. That was tag team with Leon Slater. Yeah, it might be the biggest. Yeah. And it's because that puts him 2 matches away from a WWE title match.
Yeah.
Right now, Javon Evans is 2 matches away from getting a shot at the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. Yeah, absolutely. This would be the biggest match of his WWE career, and if he's able to win, I mean, forget about it. The Night of Champions match will be out of this world.
Yeah.
But Austin Theory and Logan Paul come out, who, by the way, we saw Austin Theory earlier chatting it up with old Maxine Dupree.
Yeah, what is going on there?
They walk down the aisle, and Logan Paul is wondering why Baltimore's got to be so negative. He's yapping the whole way to the ring. And they get in there. And first they invite Javon Evans to join the Vision, which kind of came out of nowhere, but I go, I get it. I mean, if I'm looking at the future, if I'm looking at who's going to make all the difference, I'm absolutely looking at Javon Evans.
And the Vision could use some reinforcements right now. Like,
Sure.
Logan Paul is there, but,
He's only got one arm.
One arm. Bronson Reed, he's not there.
Not there right now. You've got Braun Breaker and you got Austin Theory. They don't even have Paul Heyman right now.
No.
You wonder if this is a Paul Heyman move or if this is Logan Paul and Austin Theory
Calling the shots in their
putting those 2 peanut brains together. But unfortunately, the power of those 2 brains together did not come out with the result that they wanted, because Javon Evans says, hell no, I'm not joining the Vision. And then Logan Paul said, you misread. This was not an invitation. This was, we insist. You're in the Vision.
We're demanding.
And Javon goes, no, I'm not
no
in the
chance.
Vision. And then Austin Theory goes next to him. He does that intimidating, like, here's the thing you don't understand, Javon. You're in the Vision. And Javon goes, I'm not in the Vision.
And then Javon takes the trunk, the pants off he's got gear underneath.
Well, I guess
he's ready
it's
to
true.
go.
Listen, you don't got to get ready if you stay ready.
That's right.
And that's something that Javon Evans understands. Javon showed up looking like he was in street clothes. He had his gear on. And Austin Theory made the ultimate mistake of walking in with his gear. Javon Evans, impromptu, says, let's get a referee out here.
And you know who slides right into that ring?
Who's that?
Danilo,
course he does.
always looking to capitalize on an opportunity to make some money.
Get a little bonus for the day. Get a little bonus for himself. He's not going to share that money at
He's
all.
available.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. And we get Javon Evans versus Austin Theory. I'm like, this is incredible. We get an impromptu match. Javon Evans versus Austin Theory. Amazing.
Yeah.
Ends in a disqualification after Braun Breaker comes out and catches Javon Evans mid-air after an OG cutter. With a spear. I mean, mid-air. And Braun Breaker, I mean, look at the definition on this guy. I don't know what he was doing in the gym over the last week or two, but I mean, he looks as impressive as I have ever seen him, and I have only ever seen him look impressive.
He went to Italy and he didn't even smell a carb.
No.
He couldn't.
I mean,
look at him.
No, because it's lean.
Right?
I mean, I don't know how much protein that guy's put. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible what that guy looks like.
But man, I bet Seth Rollins was watching from somewhere.
Going, oh boy.
The way he nailed that spear while Devon Evans was midair.
To be that big and intimidating and also have that level of precision and agility is crazy. Speaking of looking like $1 million, though, the Street Profits music play. We think Montez Ford is coming out like always, and Angelo Dawkins is with him. Dawkins looking like $1 million.
Yeah, and Dawkins was taken out by the Vision not long ago.
That's right. I mean, Montez always looks like $1 million. That's not to take away from him, but Dawkins looking like $1 million. The two of them come out and clear the ring, and I think it's interesting because as I'm looking at that, I go, whoa, when I saw this cage match, I said it must be that it's being done to keep the Vision out of the ring. Seth Rollins officially has some backup. And I think it is because ultimately the Street Profits are looking for the tag team championship.
Yes.
And now it's Braun Breaker holding one of those belts since Logan Paul's out with the tricep injury. And I think that's I think that's what this was about tonight. But to your point, it's no wonder that the Vision is looking to pick up new members because they're in trouble. They've got a lot of enemies.
Of course they're in trouble. You got a tag team like the Street Profits coming after you, too.
Exactly right. And they're not stopping. I'm really looking forward to this cage match at Night of Champions.
Oh, I can't wait. I love Seth Rollins in a cage match.
I mean, can you imagine the potential for the level of super stomps that we could potentially see? Just unbelievable.
Spears and stomps.
Forget about it. I also, while we got a couple minutes, want to give a big shout out to the returning Chad Gable. Chad Gable entering the ring on Monday Night Raw as Chad Gable for the first time in a long time.
Yes.
And having this match with Rusev. And I mean, Rusev took him to the limit. Not a shocker coming from Rusev. But ultimately, Chad Gable getting out of that accolade. So he had him, I think, dead to rights in that ankle lock, did Chad Gable on Rusev. Ethan Page jumps in, breaks up the ankle lock. Then Rusev is able to hit that Machka kick. Chad Gable kicks out of the Machka kick, powers out of an accolade by grabbing up the ropes and everything, and Rusev's got to release it. An angle slam and an ankle lock, and Chad Gable wins. And I think this was great. And then, of course, Ethan Page coming in to try to attack after the match, but Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee coming in for the save to help Chad Gable. I am hoping that this is only the beginning of what Chad Gable has to show everybody. I think people are ready. I mean, you talk about physique too. Look at the shape that Chad Gable is in.
It's nuts.
Nuts.
And you bring up such a great point about Chad Gable coming out to the ring as Chad Gable for the first time in
year
forever.
And a half, if not more.
And it felt like towards the beginning of the match, Chad Gable was like, does he remember who Chad Gable is himself? And he's in the ring with this monster that is Rusev. And throughout the match, we got to watch Chad Gable figure that out. And eventually hits the angle slam, gets the ankle lock. And you have this image right here of Chad Gable with Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. And it is only the beginning.
And
right?
I hope that people realize that the accomplishment, while it's amazing to see him with Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio holding his arms up, the idea that he tapped out Rusev is massive.
Crazy.
Absolutely massive. So yeah, I can't wait to see what's next for Chad Gable. Hopefully we will see it next week. Of course, Monday Night Raw in London, England is going to stream live on Netflix. 2 p.m. Eastern, which means that we will recap it here earlier than usual. So make sure you are subscribed across all audio platforms, hitting like, leaving comments on YouTube, and we will see you next week for another Raw recap here on WWE Now.